any Detective Swan.
In 1947, there was a murder of a well-known businessman. John Wilson was killed in his home in Los Angeles, leaving behind his wife Mary. Mary was a simple housewife with an enormous amount of money left behind from her deceased husband. When Mary found her husband dead at the bottom of the stairs, she called Detective Jane Swan.
Listen, I need to ask you some questions. When was the last time you saw your husband?
7:30. I was feeling a bit ill the night before, so I was still in bed. Setting up for the dinner party was not going to happen.
Was anyone else at home at the time, or was anyone planning on coming over?
The maid's always home, and I hired a new gardener to clip some bushes so I could show off to my friends.
Anyone else?
Now that you mention it, Luke Thompson, my husband's best friend and business partner, is planning on coming over to discuss a new client that could bring in a larger profit.
Do you know where I could find him? Ask him some questions. We could probably find out who murdered your husband.
He should be in his office about this time. I'll check there first.
Thank you, Mrs. Wilson. If you don't mind, I'd like to stick around for a while and check things out.
Of course.
Thank you.
It's Miss Wilson now.
Come in.
Mr. Thompson, Detective Swan. I have a few questions for you about Mr. Wilson's death.
Yes, take a seat.
Where were you between the times of 7 and 8 this morning?
I was with a new client. John wanted the contract set up before the meeting was done today, so that's where I was. And if you need proof, here's the contract.
Seems to me you have a good alibi. Can you tell me, Mr. Wilson have any enemies? Anyone that would want him gone?
None that I know of, but if I were you, I would check their maid, Alice. She's always poking her nose into where it shouldn't be.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson.
Yes, of course. Nice meeting you. Oh, Detective, wait. Please find the murderer soon.
Hello? Anyone here?
Yes, I'm in here. Can I help you with anything?
Yes, I would like to ask you some questions.
Okay.
Where were you at the time when your employer was murdered?
Well, I was steaming Mrs. Wilson's dress in the laundry room. It is very pretty. I wish that I had a paycheck that could help me pay for a dress of a fraction of that price.
So you're saying your boss wasn't a good employer?
No, I'm very lucky to be working for Mr. Wilson. Not only did I get housing, but I also got lots of benefits from working with him. And he took me in at a very young age, so I got to do a lot and learn a lot.
Well, do you know anyone else who could have done this?
Well, we just got a new gardener for tonight's party, and I think it's kind of strange that the day he comes, a murder happens. Don't you think?
Yeah, it does seem a little strange. Well,
Yeah.
I'll let you get back to your work. Sorry for bothering you.
Okay, don't worry, you weren't bothering me. I was just cleaning this and sharpening the knives in the kitchen. You know, makes it easier to cut through meat.
Yeah, yes it does. I know you all may be wondering why I gathered here today. I have discovered who the murderer was. It's one of you three.
Speaking of that, where's the gardener?
He has an alibi, so I'll let him go.
Whatever. I'm just glad that you found the murderer of my husband. That way we can put this whole case to rest.
Funny you should say that, because the murderer is you.
Me? I didn't do anything. I loved him. He was my husband.
Well, it seems like you love money a lot more than you love your husband. So, with him gone, the money's all yours.
I didn't do it. You have to believe me.
I have proof that you murdered your husband.
Don't put those on me. You have no right. You have no proof.
Nothing that disclosed to you.
In the end, Miss Wilson was arrested for the murder of her husband. The business and house fell to Luke Thompson, and eventually the murder of John Wilson was forgotten, and everything fell silent. For now.